Hey everyone, Luca here again with the latest installment of The Way It Is, and I am absolutely thrilled to be. We're in the Davies Lounge at the Grand Theatre downtown, and we're with Gary and Pat from Downchild, originally known as the Downchild Blues Band. I think those that are of an older generation may remember that moniker.
We answer to both names.
Answer to both names. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to come, and you're here one night in Kingston.
Yes.
And what brought you to Kingston? Why just Kingston? Are you doing a tour right now?
Yeah, we're doing an Ontario tour to wrap up the year. So
Okay.
Kingston was on last night. We were in Ottawa, and tomorrow we're in Keswick.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're just filling up till late in November, all over, mostly southern Ontario.
And so, how long is the tour? But when did you start, and how long has this tour been going?
In
October 26th.
Okay.
Yeah. And it'll end on November the 25th at the Alma Combo in Toronto.
Wow. And so your management group picks the venues and things like that?
Yeah,
And then
Todd, Diesel Entertainment. Todd
Okay.
He puts it all together.
All right.
We get in the vehicles and drive.
Yeah, exactly.
No big tour bus for the
No, hell no. That was brought up to us a few years ago that on a tour that, we're going to put you guys on a tour bus and on days off you can stay on the bus. And we thought it over and wait a minute. We're not staying on the bus on days off. And
Exactly.
number two, when we tour, we usually have a few vehicles like SUVs or minivans. If you got a day off, you got a vehicle where you can go and drive somewhere.
Yeah.
If you're on a tour bus, you're stuck. You don't
Yeah.
have a ride. So we vetoed the tour bus. We're not rock stars. We don't need a damn bus.
So for those that don't know, the band originated in 1969,
Yeah.
and we were talking earlier. Pat, you've been with the band 38 years.
38 years, June of 1985.
Wow. And you combined 32, we're saying, right?
Yeah, 79 to 83, and then I've been back since 95.
So you two are the senior guys, right? Are the longest, or are there somebody else that's even?
Nope.
More ways than one.
And so, we were talking earlier, and this band's got a lot of moving parts, right? So how big does it get, and how small can it get? I guess you've got.
Never really larger than 7, right?
Usually the
These
smallest is 6.
Yeah.
Right.
And then if we have the trumpet, it's 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on the recordings, it's always, there's brass section, keyboard section, organ, all that kind of stuff.
So when, given that when I did my little bit of research for 2 seconds there on Google, I saw the list of people that had been in the band and aren't performing now. What's that process? Like, is it?
Well, it's Donnie Walsh's band.
Right.
Mr. Downchild. He's the leader. He's the principal songwriter. He's the one with the vision, and he created the sound. So everybody who comes and goes, like myself and Pat, we get on board, and we become part of that sound, that whole machine, follow his direction. But it's Donnie's band.
I would think that for aspiring musicians, whatever they're playing, you've got trumpet, you've got drums, guitars, guys. This must be a good play, like a great band to be a part of for whether it's a short period of time or a long period of time, or.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But it's got a very defined sound.
Right.
And that sound comes from Donnie's writing.
Okay.
And Donnie also creates all the horn parts. He's not able to write things out or anything, but he's
Right.
able to sing everything or play everything.
And how old
So-
would Donnie be now?
He's just turned 76.
Yeah.
And he still performs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's only a few months older than me. I still perform.
I wouldn't have given you that. So good for you. What's all your times? I'm going to put you on the spot. And what's one of your most memorable performances, if you have one?
Well, we played at Massey Hall in Toronto a few times, and that was always great. We play all of the big festivals. I can't ever pick like one.
Right.
I think for me, it's just being in the band and doing what we're doing now, playing out theaters. In the summertime, we do festival work. So, I can remember opening a number of years back. B.B. King has always been a major hero of mine. So opening for B.B.
Wow.
at Massey Hall, and way back in the 80s, doing shows with Muddy Waters and with James Cotton and Etta James, all of our heroes, the people that the originators. We interpret, they originated, and so some of those shows were pretty important. But mainly for me, it's just being on the gig, being in the band. It's a great band to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a good vibe to it. Keeps you doing. Obviously, you must love it because you're still doing it, right?
And well, the caliber of the musicians in the band is really high, and we all know each other. And we, these days, because we've worked together in Downchild for so long, we're all involved in other little side projects and stuff. So when we get up on stage, it's really comfortable, And he's got a great memory, so if I forget something of an old tune that comes back, well, he knows my part. He'll tell me what it is. We cover each other, and away we go.
Now, being in a band, the little I know, but it's not just showing up and doing the performance. You guys have to rehearse and you do all that, right? So is that happening every day?
We still rehearse whenever we have a block of shows, like this 6-week thing we're on now. We had a couple of rehearsals beforehand. Just we get together at a rehearsal studio in Toronto. We run the show once and we go home.
Wow.
Come back the next day, we run the show again once, and that's it. It's not like we labor over it.
The only time it's more intense rehearsing is if there's a new recording project coming out.
Right. So is Downchild producing new material? Is Donnie still producing new material? Or?
Nothing is scheduled yet, because the last release we had was a live album that we recorded to start off our 50th anniversary. This would have been in 2019, so that's 4 years ago. It was a live album with the special guests that we had on this show, Dan Aykroyd and Kenny Neal, Ariel Littman, Gene Taylor, David Wilcox. So we've been writing on that for a while, and it would be nice to get back and do the studio and do another recording. But there's nothing on schedule right now. At least nothing that Pat and I know about.
Yeah,
could be in the works.
We're doing the Billy Joel. Last time he had new product out was 20 years ago. So.
Yeah.
And he still fills Shea Stadium.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and you just touched on it, the Kingston Connection. Obviously, Dan Aykroyd, Jim Belushi, the Blues Brothers. That was Downchild was, I guess, part of the inspiration for that, was it not?
Donnie and his brother Hawk, the late Richard Walsh, Hawk Walsh, they were the original Blues Brothers, the two of them. And Dan was a fan. And when him and John, this is how it's related back to me, when him and John Belushi were working up that Blues Brothers skit, they had a Downchild record straight up, so they had the music, and Dan had the story of, because he used to come to the gigs.
Right.
And, the band would go over to his booze can after. There was a relationship there. Downchild's never wore fedoras, shades, skinny ties, and black suits.
Right.
No. If you showed up like that on a gig, you're out of here. But and he's been a huge supporter of the band from that time right till now.
Wow.
We do stuff with him on occasion,
Yeah.
and it's always a boost
Right.
when he's going to be around.
For
And,
sure.
he gets on these network TV shows, and somehow he always manages to fit in the name Downchild somewhere.
Awesome.
Yep.
Whether he's on David Letterman or Dan Rather or whoever's interviewing him, he always manages to drop it in there,
Yeah.
to help us out. So,
That's awesome.
good friend.
Now, I started this podcast during COVID, so it was all Zoom calls and everything, and was mostly talking to doctors that were on the science table and stuff like that. How did you guys? What happened to Downchild during COVID and stuff?
Oh, Downchild was shut down, and tours were being moved and moved and moved. Mm-hmm. We'd get a little window of, it's going to open up again. We can get back to finishing the 50th anniversary tour. Took 4 years.
Yeah,
Because we got cut off by COVID. We had to finish off all of those dates. Personally, I got through it pretty good, all things considered. I had other personal music projects to work on during that downtime, and I managed to accomplish quite a bit.
Good.
When I hear people talking about how COVID ruined their lives, I feel sorry for them, because I found other ways.
Right.
It was tough not getting out and doing gigs, but I got up every day and worked on some music.
Right.
I don't know what Pat did, but
I was teaching virtually,
there you go.
Wow.
which put the nail in the coffin for my teaching career. It's not good for the kids, and it's not good for the teachers, but mainly the kids. It's not good for them.
That was a struggle for,
Yeah.
we lost a generation of kids.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's,
But I mean, through the summer of 21, we actually gigged.
Yeah,
We went to Trois-Rivières and Sherbrooke.
we did it. Yeah, those little openings, we'd get out
Yeah.
and finish up a couple more gigs, and then
And shut down again.
And our agent manager, Todd Littlefield, was moving and moving. Okay, we're going to move this bunch of dates into the fall. We're going to move them into the spring.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to move them back into next fall. You know, we'd get out and we'd do a few things, like Pat said, in 21. We did some virtual stuff. We did a pay-per-view in Belleville at the Empire Theater.
Yep. Virtual Southside Shuffle.
Yeah.
That year.
You know, other people that we were associated with, festivals, and they were coming up with ideas to get through that period, right?
Mhm.
So, and it's behind us now. Let's hope. I mean, you know, apparently COVID is around again. People
It's
are
still a
wearing
thing,
masks
yeah.
And, you know, but I think we've all learned a way to live through it now. It's
Yeah.
not going to get in our way like it did before.
yeah, I agree. Certainly it was a learning curve, and I think we've learned the things we need to know to protect yourself if you want to protect yourself and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and obviously nothing beats playing live, right? I mean, that's
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, we kind of had, well, personally, I had a leg up on it, and I'm sure Pat did too, because we've been doing this for a really long time. We've been professional musicians since we were kids. I felt sorry for the younger musicians, because to them, whenever they were just getting things going, maybe they'd been in the business a few years, and all of a sudden their careers were stopped.
Mhm.
Whereas for somebody like me, I just, you know, I had a bad year in 1976. So I just, this is like 1976. You know, there's no gigs. I'm not getting any work. This is like that. I got through that. 1977, I was working again.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of looked at it like that. That this isn't the end.
Yeah.
This is a pause. But you know, some younger people, it was devastating.
And yet, you know, the flip side of that is all of the new technology and all of the different recording styles that came out of that, you know, in terms of online musician. Like, I mean, all you had to do is, because everybody was just at home on their screens, it was all, you know, solo artists playing their songs or releasing EPs or whatever and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
a
I mean,
lot of people did that. I'm a bass player, so I need to work with people to actually make anything happen. So I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any remote recording, but I had some solo projects that were in the works getting ready for release. I finished them off. I wrote some grant applications and got some grant money to record the Maple Blues Band, which is something that Pat and I are part with. So I did stuff like that, and I practiced every day.
Mhm.
I made up, like, I think 7 or 8 playlists of different styles of music. Blues, songs that I'll never get to play with any band ever, but maybe if I learn them, it'll be good for me. And every day I would get up and I'd take one of those playlists, and I'd kick it on the computer, and I'd just play along with it, you know, for a couple hours. So I played every day.
well, that's
It's not as good as playing with a band, but
Hey,
it's
still
better
something.
than just putting your instrument under the bed and saying, see
Yeah.
you in 2 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a testament to you as a musician, right? That's your craft. That's your passion, right? It's not
Yeah.
just a job, right? 'Cause-
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
But there's also a thing with certain musics, like blues music and jazz music. It's interactive. To try and record that kind of music over stems and over the internet, yeah, you can do it, but it's going to lack the soul.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
It's
fair
something.
enough. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I won't keep you. I'm sure you got warm-ups to do and all that kind of stuff.
We got a sound. Well, sound check coming up in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We're all prepared. We're all ready to go. We have a great crew with us, Dan Richardson and Fabio Parabel, and they put everything in place, and then we just walk up and
Away we go.
play a couple of tunes. And okay, sounds good? Yeah, good. Back to the hotel, have dinner, get ready for the show.
Well, that's awesome. Listen, I really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, and I wish you all the success for the rest of the tour and in the future. So
Great. Thank you.
awesome to meet you both.
You too. Pleasure.